Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and a technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host Mike Corday is in studio today. He's an award-winning author and a human behavior expert. Now, we're live streaming during our show on four of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/techtimeradio. We are friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, Mr. Beast is in the spotlight again, and this time he's defending his upcoming game show, Beast Games, against some serious allegations that we've talked about previously here. He claims the accusations have been blown way out of proportion. But what's the real story behind the scenes? And then TikTok and Meta are bracing for the fallout from Australia's new social media ban on children under the age of 16. So this is going to be very interesting. They got a whole ban going on. How will this impact the social media landscape across other nations? Australia is kind of the big leader in this idea. So we're going to see how this is making a ripple effect across other nations. Next, our guest, Nick Espinoza from Security Fanatics, is back for some holiday cheer. And could a navigation app be held responsible for a user getting into an accident? We explore these questions and more. And finally, have you heard of the MacBook alternative that's 10 times cheaper? We got the scoop on that too on our Nathan Nugget of the Week. In addition, of course, we have our standard features, including Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, a possible Nathan Nugget, and of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tasting, to see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. Now, though, it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right, collectors are going to collect, but a company backed by Bitcoin is changing how investors view cryptocurrency. Let's go to Corinne Westland for more on this story.
Michael Saylor, executive chairman of MicroStrategy, is one of the greatest Bitcoin communicators of all time. His presentations are legendary because they lay out a clear case as to why Bitcoin is a capital asset in a class all its own. MicroStrategy is a business intelligence firm founded in the 1990s. It survived the tech bubble of 2000 and continues to develop B2B analytics tools to this day. Even though it has an operational software business, the value of MSTR is mostly concentrated in its Bitcoin treasury. Is Bitcoin the holy grail of currency? Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, there's a lot to unpack here, Mike. So let's take an overview of what MicroStrategy does and why it's our lead story. Okay, in 2013, CEO Michael Saylor was an avid person that said Bitcoin would fail. But in 2020, he's become a Bitcoin believer and began adding it to MicroStrategy's treasure. He believes that including Bitcoin on the company's balance sheet will give it an advantage over long-term other companies' financial sheets, since Bitcoin tends to appreciate on long timescales and carries low cost and general business risk. After the announcement of this new strategy, investors began buying shares of MSTR for various reasons, but mainly they wanted to buy because of all the Bitcoin that the company owns in itself. By signing up, you receive a free newsletter, you get updates about Forbes and affiliate offerings, and you get MicroStrategy's investment on all of the Bitcoin they're accumulating. Now, MicroStrategy is considered the largest Bitcoin holder in the world at this time. The entire thesis of this goes by saying that they know that Bitcoin will appreciate by 25% per year on an average. And then the MicroStrategies company's idea is to borrow money at a lower analyzed interest rate and then wait for the appreciation of Bitcoin to pop to make their money. So let's talk a little bit about this. This is a company, Mike, that is investing on their ledger for their company and buying Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is skyrocketing right now. The predictions were that it would be at 100,000 by the end of the year. And there is a possibility it could pop that before the last 60 days at the end of this month here as we have things coming on. Is it safe for a company to have a corporate balance that is based on cryptocurrency money? What is your thought on that?
Why do you want to ask me about whether or not it's?
Well, I mean, would you trust in a company that is banking all their money on a cryptocurrency?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't. But then again, I'm not a tech genius, so
okay. Have you been?
Perhaps there is something that I'm missing.
So the idea is to buy investments into this company, and then you are not necessarily buying Bitcoin, but you're buying all their investment
futures.
Yeah, you're buying that they have all this Bitcoin, and it's a part of their balance sheet for their stock symbol that's going there. Have you ever heard of MicroStrategy
I've
before?
Never heard of them.
Yeah, so
I don't know anything about them.
So this is they are like the trendy company right now to invest in.
And see, that's what you just said is why I would have a problem.
Okay.
Trendy.
You don't like the trendy?
It's trendy.
You remember NFTs?
Yeah, we talked about NFTs when they came out. We played around with NFTs when they came out, and then we ultimately decided that NFTs weren't going to
be as big of a thing. Yep.
And what happened?
Well, NFTs are still there, but they're just not at the same level of people using them.
Near.
That is correct.
Right.
Yep, that's correct. All right,
But then again, Bitcoin has been around for a while.
It has been around for a while. All right, now let's move on to story number 2.
Oh, this is my favorite.
Okay.
TikTok and Meta brace for an Australian social media ban fallout for children under 16 who are being barred from the popular social media sites. The law threatens to upend the business model of some of the world's most valuable companies as they face a global backlash against problems blamed on their services. Australia's controversial new law barring under 16s from social media is one of the toughest crackdowns yet on platforms including Facebook and TikTok as governments worldwide grasp for ways to protect children from harmful content. The blanket ban, which was passed late Thursday night, establishes some of the most stringent internet usage restrictions outside of China and other non-democratic regimes that could provide impetus to other governments to act. From Florida and Texas to France and the UK, authorities have attempted or are considering raising social media age limits or tightening content oversight. Lurking behind this debate and driving the change are the dark corners of social media that continue to extract a tragic toll. A 10-year-old with a social media account filled with videos about hopelessness and death who stepped in front of a train in Bayport, New York. With a 15-year-old Australian schoolgirl who hanged herself from a tree at home in February 22 after suffering years of social bullying. While Australia's ban is wildly popular with voters, 77% support the move, according to a survey. It has unleashed a maelstrom of criticism from big tech, of course. Major operators include Meta Platforms, Inc., say the rules are ineffective or flawed, while X, owned by self-styled free speech absolutist Elon Musk, question whether the ban is lawful, heralding a possible court challenge. Under the new law, which will take effect in around 12 months, digital platforms, including Snapchat, Instagram, and X, will be responsible for enforcing the age limit, with penalties of as much as $32 million for breaches. However, it is still unclear how the platforms will verify ages, with the government already ruling out the use of official documents such as passports due to privacy. Kids who find a way past verification controls won't be fined, or will their parents. The law also threatens to upend the business model of some of the world's most valuable companies as they face a global backlash. TikTok, which is owned by China's ByteDance Limited, said the legislation was rushed and unworkable and riddled with unanswered questions and unresolved concerns. all about the money.
It's about the money. We'll see what happens to the social media, because as they continue to have these spread across, I think it's going to be interesting to see the other countries take into an effect that they want to put in a 16 and ban, and then essentially you're creating two different markets for social media, right? You're going to have a market that's the teenage market, and you're going to have a market that's the adult market. So maybe there are different apps, maybe there are different platforms.
Well, the main problem is, how do you figure out if the person that's using your services
is the right age?
The right age.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's always going to be the problem, and that's always how teenagers are going to find ways around it. That's all. It has a built-in failure mechanism.
Okay.
That I don't know that a ban is
going to make any difference.
Going to make any difference.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to story number 3. Mr. Beast says game show allegations are blown way out of proportion. Mr. Beast has claimed he has footage showing the allegations that his reality show was shamelessly exploited, and contestants are blowing everything out of proportion. The YouTuber's real name, of course, is Jimmy Donaldson.
Yeah, Mr. Pillow said something like that, didn't he?
Yeah. Released a teaser for Beast Games on Monday, announced that it would be released next month. In September, Amazon and Mr. Beast were named in a U.S. lawsuit, which made a number of claims on how participants were treated on set. The Amazon series promised to be the biggest live game show in the world, with 1,000 people competing in a series of elimination challenges for $5 million cash prize. Now, he hasn't formally come on out and said what they're going to do regarding the allegations, but he says that there's tons of behind-the-scenes droppings when the show does not know what's going on, and has been absolutely blown out of proportions with these claims. You just can't release anything nowadays, because if he did, it would spoil the games. So he says that because of their games coming on out, the reality show, that after that, they'll take care of the claims.
Yeah, sure. Why not show before? Who cares if it spoils?
Well,
I have a real big problem with it.
Okay.
So keep going.
You don't like Mr. Beast? And see, Survivor does this. I mean, Big Brother does this.
Yeah,
all this reality
I don't
TV.
like any of these defending themselves when they're irresponsible.
All right, well, he says that we will see what happens after the show comes on out and all these other allegations. So we're going to see what happens. So they came on out.
Everything is fake when it comes to television.
Well, scripted TV, reality TV is kind of scripted, right?
Yeah, but if he's saying that he's got all this stuff behind the scenes,
yep,
and he's going to put it out there, is he going to put it out there carte blanche, or is he going to edit whatever he wants people to see?
Well,
that's the problem.
Well, I'm sure since this big lawsuit, we'll see what happens. All right, story number 4. Streaming services are crumbling. This is something I talked about at the beginning of the year in our prediction show.
Yeah, we've already talked about this.
Crackle, one of the original cord-cutting service, just officially shut down all services. You can only get a few movies still with the original content, like comedians in cars getting coffee for the next few days or hours. In 2006, Sony Pictures Entertainment acquired Grouper for $65 million, recognizing the potential of online video distribution. A year later, Grouper was rebranded as Crackle, shifting its focus to become a multi-platform video entertainment network studio. Under Sony's leadership, Crackle established itself as a free ad-supported streaming service, offering a library of movies and TV shows. This was a novel concept at the time, as most online video platforms were primarily user-generated content. Crackle made itself different by providing access to Hollywood productions, but putting in commercials. What they didn't know is that all the other streaming services that people paid for would soon follow service and put commercials in their streaming services also.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be the death knell for all these streaming services.
Well, Crackle joins the ranks of Popcorn Flicks and Redbox, which also have closed this year. Redbox was around for 22 years as our video rental boxes at convenience stores. Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. When we return, Nick Espinosa from Security Fanatics will join us to discuss some scary technology items you should consider over the holidays. Should you be worried? Yes, you should. You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We'll be back after this commercial break.
This is Mark.
And Greg.
For Copiers Northwest.
With a terrific offer
called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
As long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
Or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without any political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And, of course, with a little whiskey on the side today. Mark Gregoire, our whiskey connoisseur, is back in studio. So what have you chosen for us today?
Today we have Old Overholt Cast Strength 10-Year Rye.
Okay.
Now, from Jim Beam's website, introducing Old Overholt Extra Age Cast Strength Rye, an ultra-premium rye whiskey for connoisseurs and collectors. Aged and curated from the top warehouse locations and bottled unfiltered at cast strength, this unique spirit offers an Old Overholt's signature spice in a more robust expression. Black pepper, cinnamon, and baking spices, also with cherries, green peppercorn, sweet caramel, and vanilla. The finish is long, lingering rye spice and vanilla. Now, this is from Jim Beam, their distillery in Claremont, Kentucky. The straight rye, 10 years, 121 proof. The mash bill is undisclosed, and it goes for $100.
Okay.
That's not going to be on Nathan's shelf.
Ah, well, hang on now. I got Wellers. I got some high stuff out there.
It's got a huge cork.
It does got a big cork. So you know what? If you
I didn't know size mattered.
Size does matter.
I thought it was just cork.
Well,
hey,
cork. It was. You know what?
The bigger the cork, the better, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
Okay.
All right.
Well, what did you guys think of your tasting?
You know what? During the commercial break, I didn't see. We have these.
I like the taste, but it had the rye burn triggers a cough. All right.
Did you like our little? Did you see our shot glasses today? They're very festive. You see that? It's got a little snowman on there.
Humbug.
You know what? It's got everything that we only had 2 of these, so we had to give poor Mark his standard deal. But there you go. I think that it's a smooth taste. There's not a huge bite. Again, I'm kind of the anti-bite guy, right? So if you want to get me something that I really like and it has a big bite, then I'm having problems with this. So I kind of like it.
Just a little nibble.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, just a little nibble. That's just great.
Are you ever going to learn them about the bite?
What's that?
No.
You gonna learn about the bite?
Learn about the bite.
All right. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll have to see more. I can't wait for our mumbles today.
All right. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe. In addition, please comment. Let us know if you have a whiskey you'd like us to review. Drink responsibly. Heaven can wait.
There you go. With our first whiskey tasting completed, let's move on to our feature segment today. Our technology expert, Nick Espinoza, is joining the show. Nick's an expert in cybersecurity and network infrastructure. He's consulted with clients ranging from small business to the Fortune 100 level. In 1998, at the age of 19, Nick founded Windy City Networks, which was later acquired in 2015. He then created Security Fanatics, where he's the chief security fanatic. We welcome Nick to the Comcast video stream to start our next segment. Did you go out to any of the store shopping deals?
Oh no, I stay in my bunker on Black Friday. Absolutely not. We're good to go, and I don't need to get a reduced TV that wasn't actually reduced in price. So
but reduced in features, right? Only one HDMI port instead of 2. That's right. Okay, well, now we got lots of things to talk about, Nick. I appreciate you being on our show each and every month. Let's talk about a couple things here. Let's talk about AI. Now, AI is coming on out to replace personalities in less time than it takes to watch a movie. So this is getting very tense, and some attention was brought to it this week. Give us an update on some of this information regarding the AI.
Yeah. So you're 100% right. And apparently, basically, a 2-hour interview is essentially enough to accurately capture your values, preferences, all this kind of stuff. Now, this is research that's coming out of both Google and Google's DeepMind and Stanford University. And that Stanford team that's leading the charge here recruited 1,000 people, and they tried to make it as diverse as possible. They varied by age, gender, race, religion, education, and political ideology as well. And so with those interviews with basically with these people, they then created kind of AI replicas of these individuals. And so by virtue of that, they then tested these AI counterparts or duplicates of you to see how well they mimicked the human, right? So they participated in a whole bunch of different personality tests, social surveys, logic games, et cetera, et cetera. And then they did this twice. So they did it once, and then a couple weeks apart, they then did it again. And the interesting part is they found that the AIs were 85% similar to the humans. And so there you go. At some point, these things will just be dating for us as well. But interestingly enough, it's not 100%. Don't, build the bunkers just yet. Obviously, there's a couple of issues with this. The caveats would be, this would be amazing to essentially build really accurate deep fakes to people because it would answer or respond essentially as you. But that said, the evaluation method that they use was pretty basic. They use general social surveys. So it talks about, demographics, happiness, behaviors, and all of that. But obviously that uniqueness that we would have, let's say in a split decision, an emergency, all that kind of stuff, it can't really capture that just yet. But it would be good enough to, let's say, answer emails in my voice, or maybe even hop on a Zoom meeting, or give a national address or something like that, having my mannerisms, having my execution, and essentially relaying my beliefs, or at least 85% of them. So pretty interesting.
All right. So there goes under our
terrifying. 85% is terrifying.
85%.
It is. It's cool though.
Yeah. So
part of me is going, oh, this is really cool. I wonder if I could do this for my
you can
meetings.
just think about working, right? You just Zoom,
do my classes for me, and
that's all right. You can just sit back and then you can play
video games until it says something stupid.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Grindr is doing. The gay dating app. They basically have a virtual wingman, right? So it learns all about you, and then your AI talks to your prospective partner's AI, and they just hammer it out. And it's supposed to flag. Like if I'm a serial killer, my AI is going to know that and tell other AIs I'm a serial killer, and now I won't get dates. And again, at some point, the AI is just going to be dating for us. And when the robot comes home, I'll ask it how it went.
Yeah, I'll have my AI contact your AI.
That's right. They'll have a whole conversation. They'll do meeting notes, and then you'll just have action items that your AI can take from there.
I think I just swallowed a pill.
Did you?
Like red or blue.
Red or blue. Okay. Well, okay. Now, Nick, you kind of served up the volleyball spike here next. So speaking about AI replacing voices and images, let's talk about Russia's president, Vladimir Putin, who appeared to be AI in his latest address to the nation. So this has got the conspiracy guys on one side saying this was absolutely an AI fake. You have other people that are saying, well, you know what? He's had some health issues, so he's doing something. It's very interesting because his tell seems to be moving of his hands. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on with this.
Yes. So he has what everybody calls famously restless hands. And for the record, this is one of the reasons why I both enjoy whiskey and scotch, because I watch a lot of Putin videos, thanks to the Ukraine war, all this kind of stuff. And he usually does have hand movements and all of that, but he just recently gave an address about a week or so ago to Russia and obviously the world in regards to Russia launching what is called an IRBM. Basically, it's a short-range ICBM, or an intercontinental ballistic missile. This is an intermediate-range ballistic missile. These are like world-ending missiles, so it's not good, and obviously it wasn't nuclear, but he appears to be an AI recreation, and if you watch that video, it's about 8 minutes long or so. It's really interesting because his hands remain basically crossed and completely still, when usually he's all over the map. And so, there were jokes online, as you mentioned, that his hands were super glued and all of that, because it's just very unusual for him. He also doesn't really move around in the video that much. He's pretty stoic and still as he's sitting there talking. So it'd be pretty easy for somebody to, or rather an artificial intelligence, to basically mimic him in that sense. In the same way you can make an AI look like me, but it's probably not going to be as animated as I would be. And for the record, there is a belief in the intelligence community that he does suffer from Parkinson's disease. That's obviously a neurological disorder that affects mobility and can create, movement disorders, all that kind of stuff. So maybe he's just having a really bad week. And so AI Putin took over, and here we are. As long as they don't attach it to Skynet, I think we'll be okay. But it was an interesting video to watch. Check it out.
It was.
So it can get your personality, but it can't get your expression of your personality.
Yes. Well, that's what they were kind of saying. If this was the AI fake or a deep fake with Putin, because his hands weren't moving, his expressions weren't like he normally does.
That's an expression of your personality.
Yep.
That's in the not 85%.
Of the items that are there. That's right.
Right. Well, and everybody's different. I mean, I use my hands, right? I when I talk, I express. I'm an extrovert, and if I'm here sitting like this, and guys, it's been great to see you, and let's talk about AI Putins and all of that. I'm going to start sounding and seeming kind of a little weird, and I'm not moving the way I normally move. So, I mean, and at some point we're going to do that, right? You'll just interview AI Nick, and I'll be on a beach. I don't know.
You know what, Nick? I have taken a bunch of your YouTube videos and different postings that you've gotten, and I do like to mess with some AI stuff. So the next show that we have in here, I'm gonna have quotes from you with an AI generated, and maybe we should do a little test to see if you can tell the difference between an AI voice.
I'm thinking if you defake people, you don't tell them you're defaking.
Oh, you don't do that? Oh, okay. Oh, it's okay. All right. Well, okay.
Well,
what's that?
I was going to say, on the plus side, my attorney now gets a recording of this radio show.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. So that works out pretty good. All right. Well, let's
they got AI too.
They got AI too.
Right. They do.
Let's talk about video games, right? A popular app that goes around, and it's been around for quite a long time now. Because I remember when all the craze came out, I signed up and played Pokemon Go. That's right, Pokemon Go, the popular app. Allows people to fight, collect figures, and even compete in battles. It sounds like it's a safe, friendly game for kids, and of course, us larger kids playing this. So I'm sure there's no problems with this application, but yet I am seeing news that there are some concerns. What do we have going on here, Nick?
Yeah, so to your point, it's been out since 2016. It has about 600 million players, and basically, we were all training essentially that model. Now, I didn't play it, but I have friends that played it. And so essentially Niantic, who is the developer of this, and man, this is like 6D chess that they are playing with this. It's actually impressive and terrifying at the same time. So as they were basically putting you out there in the world to like go catch these Pokemon using augmented reality, you'd hold up your phone and it would obviously take a picture of one of these things, in a park or whatever it was. They were actually using all of this data to build a large geospatial model known as a visual positioning system, or VPS. Unlike a GPS that uses dots on a map, visual systems basically take images of locations to start building and mapping those things out. So let's say, for example, and this is true, that they wanted, let's say, more shots of Central Park in New York. What they would do is they would drop like a rare Pokemon or a rare something that you'd want to get, alert everybody in the area that this thing's around, and then everybody would rush and they'd get pictures of like Central Park or whatever it was. And so by virtue of that, they can build these systems. And so now they're taking all that data and they're selling this as essentially a service, for everything. And it has some practical uses, for the record. So it can be used for indoor navigation because they have complete details of like a shopping mall or an airport or museum, where then you can integrate that, and as you're walking around, it knows the layout of the land. You obviously can use it for augmented reality, through your phone for directions and all that kind of stuff, because it understands basically where everything is already. Marketing, accessibility aids as well for visually impaired people, virtual tours. But the thing is, though, this thing has a ton of military applications as well. First one would be urban combat or urban pacification, right? I mean, precise tracking in an urban environment. If you're fighting, let's say, an insurgency, basically you're going to understand, or rather the soldiers will understand through augmented reality, where they can go. They're going to get a layout of the buildings, before they even get to the area, so they can see. And so if, let's say, something is obstructed or you're going into night vision mode, essentially you've got a much better and more accurate overlay than traditional night vision. Or let's say there's smoke everywhere due to bombing or whatever it is. Not to mention unmanned aerial vehicles have much more accurate targeting as a result of this. And I mean, I know we're able to like shoot missiles through windows and stuff, but this just ramps it up to 11. Search and rescue operations. Yeah, go ahead.
This is exactly like learning the map on a PvP video game.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. Right. So when you play like a Call of Duty game or you memorize, I'm really old, Quake 2, you'd memorize all the maps, where the certain locations were, where the courtyard was, where the corners you could grapple so you'd be safe. So it's like memorizing these maps and having those available. You're right, Mike.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the training, and that's one of the benefits, the training and rehearsal, you're slapping on VR goggles and you're walking through a virtual city under virtual combat simulation. When you get to the real thing, you're that much more trained, that much more hardened. And so by virtue of that, the concern here is, one, it's probably one of the most unique and massive data mining, systems we've ever seen, because it's not just, taking this for advertising like a Facebook would. We can actually train practical examples of this both inside and outside of the military. So, I mean, the applications are almost limitless, providing it's visual.
Wow.
I'm glad I'm old.
Santa Claus is coming to town, and he can just put on his virtual goggles and know exactly where to put those presents underneath the tree.
Spin, huh?
No, Santa's going to use an UAV. Santa will just target your house and launch the presents at it. Boom.
There you go, with a drone that will drop it and then pick it back
Santa
up.
I see how you keep going to this real kind of safety.
Yeah, the nice thing, right? Everybody likes Santa Claus.
Nice.
Everybody likes Santa Claus. All right. Okay. Well. Wow. All right, crazy. Nick, I appreciate you for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. Please tell our listeners how they can connect with you outside of our show.
Yeah. You can find me on, LinkedIn, Blue Sky. I'm now on Blue Sky.
Yeah, so we're on the Blue Sky too.
Everybody's on Blue Sky.
Yeah, they just need to get streaming services to work there, so I can stop my streaming to X and I can move it right into Blue Sky. I hear it.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. I'm sure it is. Yep. But yeah, I'm on Blue Sky now. Nick A ESP. Same with formerly Twitter, X, et cetera, LinkedIn. Come say hi. I'm on YouTube as well.
Okay. All right. Well, that ends our Ask the Expert with Nick Espinosa. Up next, we have Mike's mesmerizing moment. Thank you, Nick, for being a part of our show.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today? All right, Mike, I'm going to reference your main lead story here.
Yeah.
Do we even need social media anymore?
Maybe you should ask me if we ever need it.
Okay, well, did we ever need social media?
I think social media is a prime example of how a concept is fostered to the general public.
Okay.
And due to how human beings are irresponsible with everything, they just turn it into a very nasty place to exist.
Okay.
So I don't think we need it. I think it should go away.
You think it should go away?
Yeah. These things have caused more problems than a lot of other things.
Okay.
In our past.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's why I thought you'd say that. All right.
So why'd you ask?
Well, that's out there.
You just wanted
to have that's your mesmerizing moment.
Talk about Santa Claus.
Do you like Santa Claus too?
Humbug.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Mike, for that mesmerizing moment. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we're going to be doing so during the break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us, we could use your support on patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm the English guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You know you butcher the English language.
Okay, so it's
all the time.
It's Patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you really like our show, you can subscribe to Patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
TechTime Radio.
At TechTime Radio. Yeah. You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's TechTime Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And That's at TechTime Radio.
That's at TechTime Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's TechTime Radio.
It's at TechTime Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going back to December 6, 1994. Apple sues over QuickTime. Now, Apple sues the San Francisco Canning Company, alleging that they helped Intel and Microsoft steal code developed under contract for QuickTime for Windows. Apple released the first QuickTime for the Macintosh in December of 1991, and they then contracted a company called the San Francisco Canning Company to port QuickTime to Windows in 1992. Oh, guess what happens? In 1993, Intel hired, though, the same San Francisco Canning Company to help them optimize their own video technology. And in 1993, Intel and Microsoft combined their efforts to improve video in Windows itself, releasing a version that was significantly improved and roughly matched the quality of QuickTime. Now, Apple discovered the code developed by the San Francisco Canning Company for QuickTime was also present in the improved version of the video for Windows and sued the San Francisco Canning Company in 1994. In 1995, Apple expanded the lawsuit to include Intel and Microsoft, claiming that the companies knowingly used the San Francisco Canning Company to help them steal the QuickTime code. It was later revealed that Apple was threatening Microsoft with a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit that was famously settled by Steve Jobs and Bill Gates in 1997. This settlement is now believed to have helped Apple survive long enough to transform themselves in the 2000s, ushering in the mobile device revolution and the new world of technology. That was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 230 weekly broadcasts spanning 5+ years of video, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have Mark's Mumble Whiskey Review. See you after this break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for, Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
Bam, bam. All right, gentlemen.
All right. What do we got for our Whiskey Mumble?
Well, before we get to that, today is December 3rd. What are we celebrating today?
There's got to be some type of holiday, but it's not cake because cake was last time.
That's correct. But it's something a lot of people do eat on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Pumpkin
turkey
pie.
Day? Is it Turkey Day?
No.
Is it mashed potato day?
No, getting a little closer there.
Green beans and onions?
Oh, green bean casserole day.
Oh, I love green bean casserole with a little bit of onions. Oh, French onions on top of that. Oh.
You're getting a little way too excited about
dude,
that.
This is a
Green
great day.
bean casserole is enjoyed by many, not me,
What?
all over America
Boy,
for its few ingredients.
You sounded like totally all for it.
Yeah, you don't like green bean casserole day?
Oh, no. I despise it.
What?
Now, it's made by a
Mark,
few ingredients.
Hang on a second. How can you despise green bean casserole
It is
day?
made by cream of mushroom soup,
Okay.
which is
It's fantastic.
horrendous.
By Campbell's.
green beans,
Oh, yeah.
which could be delicious, but most people use canned,
No. You can still use fresh. My wife uses fresh.
and those weird French fried onions.
You know,
yeah.
in some areas of the country, this is called funeral casserole.
Funeral casserole?
Yeah, because they bring it for funerals all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, you
Not
know what?
just a
That's got.
Thanksgiving
You know what?
deal.
I maybe need to become a funeral crasher then, because I like green bean casseroles.
Yeah,
Like wedding crashers,
you'd have
you know?
to probably have to leave Washington. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Now, this recipe was a game changer on the American food scene that its inventor, Dorcas Lillian Bates Riley, is featured in the National Inventors Hall of Fame alongside the likes of Steve Jobs and Walt Disney.
Oh wow. Okay. Those are good people. I like that.
Oh.
Just
Now,
because her name is Dorcas.
a creative pairing idea for idea for you, Nathan, is Old Overholt spice and herbal flavors, which would complement the earthy sweetness of the green bean casserole.
Okay.
So this is a perfect one to match with it.
Okay, that sounds.
So when you go and enjoy your green bean casserole, there you go.
There you go.
December 3rd.
You're going to be crashing all those funerals with some Old Overholt.
I may have to just put that in my calendar as December 3rd is a national holiday for the green pole casserole.
So let's talk about Old Overholt.
Okay.
This is said to be America's oldest continually maintained brand of whiskey since 1810.
Now, we've had other versions of this, not this bottle, but we had
the Old Overholt 114,
okay,
which is 114 proof.
And how did I give that a thumbs up? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember. That was years ago.
That was years ago. Okay.
We'll have to look that up.
Okay.
I'll look that up at the next commercial break.
Okay.
After World War II, Americans turned to clear spirits, and Old Overholt soon found itself as the only nationally distributed straight rye whiskey on the market for many years. Okay. Old Overholt Cask Strength 10-year rye, also sometimes referred to as Old Overholt Extra Age Rye, is the first cask strength release from the brands since the 1940s. As a show of recognition for that release, Beam released it at the same proof point as it was in the 1940s.
Okay.
Now, my guess writing this earlier was that this dram was not for Mike or even possibly Nathan.
Really?
That was kind of my early guess.
Really?
It's a spicy thing.
It doesn't have a big kick, though.
It has a strong rye spice to it.
It has a spice. But it doesn't have like a huge kick that goes, ooh. But it does. I mean, it's still burning in my throat right now. So, I mean, it's still burning there. But
now,
I like a burn. I like a burn.
Okay,
I just don't
good.
like that hard.
I have thoroughly enjoyed this one.
Are you sure? You always talk about how the burn doesn't do you good.
Well, if I keep on burping up the burn later in the day, then that's probably not a good idea.
I'm not sure that's how. I think if you're burping up burn later in the day, that's not the whiskey.
Okay, all right.
You might have to get some Tagamet or whatever that is.
Okay.
As I mentioned, I've been enjoying this a lot. In fact, I've been enjoying it so much I almost finished this bottle before I realized it hadn't been on the show yet.
Oh wow!
So I had to stop drinking it recently. It's robust in that beautiful rye baking spice with a splash of sweetness. Makes me want to say,
All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much there. You know what? Whiskey and technology are such a great pairing, just like Scrooge and the good old Bah Humbug for the holiday movies.
There's a good pairing.
There's a good pairing. Is that Mike? That was just for you. How do you think of that pairing?
Bah Humbug?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now let's prepare for our technology fail of the week. Brought to you by Elite Executive Services, technology experts to help you out of a technology fail.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh. I failed. Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to have both of you guys kind of chime in on this. Can a navigation app be held responsible if a user gets into an accident?
I think we talked about this before.
We have, but there's a new thing that just happened. There's the question that's being asked in India after 3 men died when their car veered off an unfinished bridge and fell into a riverbed. The 3 men were on their way to a wedding when the accident took place. Police are still investigating the accident, which took place on Sunday, but they believe that Google Maps led the group to take the route that ended in their death.
I mean, it's not funny that they passed away, but that's the exact scene from The Office.
Yeah, they drove into a lake.
Right, right off of a bridge that had been out.
That is true. As part of the bridge had reportedly collapsed earlier this year because of floods. And while locals knew this and avoided the bridge, the 3 men were not aware of this and were outside the area. There was no barricades or signboards indicating the bridge was unfinished.
Okay, that's a problem.
Well, there you go. Authorities have named 4 engineers from the state's road department and an unnamed official from Google Maps in the police complaint on charges of homicide. So Google Maps is now listed as a homicide attack for these individuals. A spokesman from Google said that it was cooperating with the investigation. The tragic accident was a highlight into India's poor road infrastructure and sparked a debate on whether navigation apps like Google Maps share responsibilities for such accidents. Some blame the app for not providing accurate information, while others urge that it's just a larger failure on the part of the government for not cording off the place that was no longer a bridge.
I'm in the latter part.
You're in the latter part there? Okay. Google Maps is the most popular navigation app in India and has become synonymous with GPS systems and satellite-based radio navigation systems. Lawyers are divided on whether GPS apps can be held legally responsible for road accidents, but say drivers should keep all eyes on the road as map services are not as accurate as the road you are driving on.
I mean, let's take a step back because we all remember the Thompson maps that we used to have in our cars.
Yep.
I mean, those didn't have live data, and if you ran into a problem, you just had to watch where you're going.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
you'd
see,
actually maybe look ahead of the road and see where you're driving.
The difference here is that it wasn't a moment by moment
update.
You know, you're not looking at that. I understand where you're coming from, but you're not. When you look at a map, like the old maps.
Yeah, you remember the old Thomas maps?
You were committing to memory something that you were going to rely on for reference. But with Google Maps, we don't rely on them for reference. We rely on them for accuracy, which that is a problem. I mean, this whole thing is
as a driver of a
complex.
vehicle, you have to know what's going on in the road ahead of you. I don't know how. I mean, this is very sad. But then I almost chuckle in some aspects. So you're not paying any attention to the road that you're driving on. If you're going over a bridge, isn't there going to be an issue with that?
Hold on. The government didn't put signs out that the bridge was not finished. So clearly, that's the huge problem here. Is that there was no actual road signs that say, "Hey, this bridge is out. Don't go this way."
So there's that, but also, what time of day was it?
Oh, it didn't say.
Because
you're trying to say like at night?
Yeah, at night. You can't really see that well unless you've got your high beams on.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, I didn't think of that. I was thinking it was like high noon and they're driving out to some wedding on that type of deal. But Odie, that's that's a good point of view.
This is a very complicated issue. I think there is some responsibility for Google to make sure that it's keeping up to date.
But it's a free map, though.
I disagree.
But
I think
at
it's
the
on
same
the government.
time,
you think it's on the government?
How's Google going to know that a bridge got washed out in the middle of?
Well, how does Google Maps know that there's a cop coming up in like 4 minutes?
Because they use waves.
Data.
They use waves data.
Yeah, people report that.
They're using, so that data should be available for a bridge going out.
Okay.
But then again, like I said, this is a complicated issue. It's obvious that the government is mostly responsible for this problem because they didn't stop people from drive. They didn't put signs up.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Well, that was our technology fail of the week. We're going to head out now to our last commercial break. When we return, we have of course we do, a Nathan Nugget, and of course our pick of the day. So sit back, raise a glass. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon The Bookpository, and more.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right. So I was stuck with her. I had like 5 nuggets in the week, and I ended up picking this one because it's the holidays. So this is kind of like a deal for you. Do you like the MacBook? What if I could get you a unit that looks like a MacBook and it's 10 times cheaper? Would that interest you, Mike?
No.
Oh, a little bit it does, I think. All right. The Asus Chromebook is available for just $158, and it has nothing to do with a MacBook other than its
looks like a neck.
Oh, it does. So if you go to techtimeradio.com right now and you look on the Nugget, you can see a picture of it. This is like an old version of a MacBook that they have into a Chromebook. Now, finding a budget laptop doesn't have to compromise the quality when you find a good Chromebook. And there's available on the market one right now for the holiday season that's on sale. It's the Asus CX1. It's a rather stylish, affordable option that allows you to do everyday tasks. Well, it may not be like the older generation MacBooks, which it's not. It does offer some good features and an astonishing low price during the Black Friday sales of $109, but it's still moved up right now to $158 and still is a great deal. Now, it's powered by the Intel Celeron N4500 processor for smooth processing. It's a U.S. military grade stability, so it means you can like huck this against the wall and it'll still work.
Because that's what I want to
be. You know what? As you know, I can see your technology challenges, and if you get frustrated, this will still probably work after a couple throws. It's lightweight and ultra portable at just 3.24 pounds. The CX1 model is a 14-inch full HD display with resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels, and the screen delivers sharp images and bright colors. The laptop also boosts a lightweight design at just the 3.24 pounds. It's also easy to carry around, and it features a 180-degree lay flat hinge that allows for flexible viewing angles for easier collaboration during group projects or presentations. There you go. Wow. Okay. The connectivity option also promises to be successful with 2 USB 3.2 Generation 1 Type-C ports, 2 USB Type-A ports, an SD card reader, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Battery life is crucial. This lasts up to 12 hours on a single charge.
How much memory is in this thing?
So it's based on the SD card reader memory that you can put in there, and it also has the 64 gig that comes built into the unit itself. So it's all, remember, it's flash memory, kind of like your phone, because it doesn't have a hard drive. It's a Chromebook.
And make sure to stress that to the users.
It is a Chromebook,
not a laptop. It is not like a MacBook. I'm sorry.
It's hang on.
It's a Chromebook.
Well, so it's a Chromebook, but are you cruising the internet?
It's like a big.
You're not watching Crackle anymore because that's not available. But if you're watching Netflix, it'll do just fine for that, right?
Well, I can't be playing video games on this.
Well, can you or can you not? Have you taken a look at what Steam has options for Chromebook?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, so you can play games.
Can I?
It's a big tablet.
Can I do my presentation on a Chromebook?
Yeah, you can. Okay. So if you got your all cloud-based Office 365, you pull up your presentation and PowerPoint, and it's ready to go.
Well,
right, you have to use the cloud-based apps.
I may have to reconsider that. Something I can do all my work on and throw at people.
It makes a perfect gift for Mr. Bah Humbug over here.
Bah Humbug.
All right, well, that was our Nathan Nugget of the day. Can't wait for our next Nathan Nugget because I had like 3 or 4 Kickstarter things that I was working on also. All right, and have you guys heard of this new Prime service that's available that allows you to go to
Crackle?
No, Crackle's no longer available, but it's a new Prime service that allows you to go and see free movie theaters. This is just coming on out right now. It's called Prime Premiere from Amazon. So I'm going to kind of go into what I was going to do next time.
Is this another level of Prime membership?
No. This already comes with your existing Prime membership. It allows you to go see upcoming movies in the theaters, and you don't have to pay for anything. The tickets are free, and on top of it, guess what it comes with? It comes with popcorn and a drink for free. So as a Prime member, you're going to get the opportunity to go see Prime movies.
Okay, so they're going to get Amazon is fixing to take out all the
movie theaters,
AMC movie theater apps.
Yeah, well, if you could go to a movie theater, here's what you get. All guests will enjoy a small popcorn, a small soda or water at the theater of your Prime tickets. You can bring one guest. It costs absolutely nothing. All you have to do is be a Prime member. This is like going to be huge.
Do you get to watch whatever movie? Or
well, no. You have to watch. No, you have to watch
movies.
The Prime movies. So these are the movies that are also going to be sold on Prime. So you know, Netflix has exclusive movies that come on out.
Yeah,
they're filming Happy Gilmore 2 right now, and a bunch of other movies that are just for Netflix.
Low budget Amazon Prime movies.
Well, but some of the Prime movies have been pretty good lately. Did you like Fallout?
Oh yeah,
the TV show. Okay, that's a Prime. That's a Prime.
Yeah, but
deal.
that's not a movie. That's a series.
Okay, what if you could go see the Lord of the Rings, the Power of the Rings in the movie theater?
Nope.
No. Okay, I would be all over that. Here's what we have coming up on April 26th. We have Challengers, and on August 23rd of next year already, they have Blink Twice. There you go. All right. It sounds like our music is playing, so we need to head out to our pick of the day.
We are drinking Old Overholt Cast Strength 10-year rye. It is 121 proof, $100.
$100. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. What are you going to give it here, Mr. Gourday?
I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
You give it a thumbs up also?
I thought I was going to get 2 thumbs down this week.
No.
It's well, as you know, I'm getting a little bit more
of a palate,
a rye palate. Yeah. So,
all right,
the rye burn was not, or the spice was just enough to not be bad.
Just enough. Oh, just enough not to be bad. I thought it was really good. So, but and at the price point, I may not have it on my shelf, but the best thing about it is I can come over.
Good, because I'm bringing it back to mine.
Okay,
Even though it's got a big cork.
All right, we want to thank all of our listeners for listening to our show today. We want to see you next week. And remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.